ICE raids. Let me play just a bit of what he had to say.
But you don't want militarized people in the streets just roaming around, snatching people up, many of which turn out to actually be U.S. citizens that just don't have their papers on them. Are we really going to be the Gestapo? Where's your papers? Is that what we've come to?
The reason I ask is because recent polling indicates that a lot of people share Joe Rogan's take on this and do not support what they're seeing from the administration's immigration crackdown. What's your reaction?
Well, Jake, I think the president's number one thing that he ran on was to secure the border and to make your family safe and secure. Now, I don't know every detail of every ICE agent, but what Secretary Noem tells me is that their focus is on violent criminal aliens. Look, there's 300,000 to 400,000 violent criminal aliens that are still in this country. I think that that's their focus. Sometimes there's collateral damage, but we certainly want our families to be safe and secure. I wake up every day as a father, a grandfather, and now a U.S. Senator and ask, is my family safe? Is your family safe today? So that's what I'll keep encouraging ICE to do.
Did you just suggest that Renee Good is collateral damage?
No, of course not. It's very much a tragedy, Jake, but we could be just as easily talking about the death of ICE agents. A third of all law enforcement officers that are killed in the line of duty is because of a vehicular homicide. So I think that case needs to go through the Justice Department. But what I'm saying is when people are being arrested, when they're after that violent criminal alien, that sometimes there is other people out there that maybe all they had is just got their papers on them.
Well, I mean, we're hearing from a lot of people in Minnesota who don't feel safe, U.S. citizens walking down the street who don't feel safe, who feel as though, I don't know how to put this in a nicer way, but who feel as though they're being occupied by the government and just they can't even just like walk down the street. Yeah.
I come from a law enforcement family. I would ask those people to respect law enforcement, and they'll be just fine. That they should stay, they should not interfere with law enforcement, and they're going to be just fine.
On the economy, earlier today, President Trump addressed the Detroit Economic Club. Here's part of what he had to say on tariffs specifically.
Every prediction the critics made about our tariff policy has failed to materialize. The evidence shows overwhelmingly that the tariffs are not paid by American consumers, that they're paid by foreign nations and middlemen.
I mean, I don't know how accurate that is. Those tariffs are being paid for by American companies and American consumers. In October, Moody's Analytics said that your home state of Kansas was on the verge of recession, in large part due to tariffs and the impact on your state's farming industry. It's a sentiment echoed by the Kansas Farmers Union. What is the reality of the impact tariffs have had on farmers and others in Kansas?
Well, look, what I can tell you is that we have increased trade numbers in corn of some 10%, of soybeans is up 5%, of wheat is up as well, sorghum not doing as well. And by the way, the president just gave the farmers another $12 billion. In total, the president has given the farmers $40 billion, taking, I assume, what I would consider some of that tariff money to make the farmers whole. Look, China never buys more than $20 billion worth of goods as well. The American farmer makes money is when we make a value-added product like ethanol, when we turn corn into beef or soybeans into pork, that's when the American farmer makes money right now. It's not the president's fault that Brazil is now competing with us and actually beating us in some of these grain prices.
The president has floated the idea of